Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a video giving my thoughts, doing some predictions on the Carl versus Ron possible situation that we may be seeing in The Walking Dead Season 6. This one is Q&A number, I don't even know at this point. I have no freaking idea. Okay, so thank you guys for continuing to send me your questions. Been producing at least a few Walking Dead videos last few days. I try for you guys, I try to keep them going all year long. This time of the year is really tough to make a lot of videos because there's just not a lot of new content after the trailer, and until Fear the Walking Dead, actually airs, later on in August, there won't be too much. A few things here and there. So continue to send me your questions, continue to send me your video suggestions, and I'll try to make as many videos for you guys as I can do. So at this time of the year. So in this one, let's talk about the possibility of Ron versus Carl. Because of course, Rick killed Peter, so Ron's dad is dead and is now seemingly trying to get with his mom. So he's understandably a little pissed off about the situation. Makes a lot of sense that you would be. So, I think it makes sense that this is a good prediction. That this question came from Mohammed Bharoocha, and he says, Trev, I have a prediction. I think Ron is going mad and is now trying to kill Rick, but Ron hears if Carl and Enid hanging out, and he might get jealous, and Ron possibly shooting Carl in the eye, or and then Rick or Enid killing him. It's a good. I like it. It's a good prediction. This is kind of somewhat along the lines of what I've heard a lot of people talking about in comments and that and online. Possibility of maybe Ron being the one to shoot Carl's eye out or something like that, based on the comic book series, some of the stuff that we saw there. You guys kind of know my position at this point about the Carl eye thing. I do feel like it has to happen, and I do think this season we at least have to see some concentration on Carl and seeing him kind of morph into his darker self that we see him at currently in the comic book series, because really the television series Carl is such a wimp compared to the comic book series version of Carl that we got to see some kind of a transformation there. I would like to see. So we saw it in the trailer briefly. Carl kind of glances over and he sees Enid kind of holding Ron, that kind of thing, consoling him, because obviously he's going through a lot. We have the part in the trailer with Ron. He's yelling at his mom, obviously. He doesn't like Rick, of course. He's going to have some issues. We've got Rick tackling him, saving him in the near the quarry, near the part where people can run off, that kind of thing. Or when he's about to run off, he tackles him down. You guys know what I mean. So yeah, I mean, that's about all we've seen so far. So it seems like there could be some tension building between them. But it does look like, from some spoilery pictures, and this is kind of spoilery, so heads up for anybody. I know some of you guys hate spoilers, so just a heads up. It does look like the actor who plays Ron is still in filming. So he's at least going to survive the first half season, I would say. But I just think that would be such a great storyline if they did something like that, and then later had Carl kill Ron, or have him eaten by zombies or something if they did that. So I like Mohammed's prediction here, but I mean, we got to see more, right? We got to see more. We can't really make a concrete prediction. I like the storyline. I think it makes sense, but that isn't enough. Just because it sounds good and it sounds like a good idea doesn't mean that it's something that is likely or that we're going to see. So that's my opinion on that. I would love to see that. I think it would make for a great storyline for season 6. But it doesn't seem like they're focusing too much on the younger characters. We got a lot of other stuff going on. We got Morgan back. You got what's going on with Rick. I mean, it's they've got other stuff they're focusing on, and they're not focusing on the youngins that much. Which hopefully that will change, and we'll see some more focus on Carl, because I would really like to see that. Yeah. And we have some more random questions I'll throw in here with this video for you guys, kind of fill it out, give you some more, some more stuff to talk about. This one's from Michael McMahon, and he says, hey Trev, why doesn't the main group talk about any of the deceased members of the group? I wish the writers would throw us a bone and mention Lori or Shane, even Meryle. Those are big characters and had an emotional connection with the group. Also, I have a feeling they will kill Michone as the next big character sometime soon. She just doesn't feel the same as Season 3, and over the course of the seasons has become a background character. Well, that is true. Earlier on in season 3, she did have a lot of focus, when she was, they were deciding whether or not they were going to give her over to the governor, and, Hounded, where Meryle was chasing after her. She had a lot of pretty awesome stuff in season 3. And afterwards, she's always been there with the sword whooping zombie ass, but she hasn't had as much. But, that said, I mean, she has the stuff with Rick, recently. They're kind of riding in together the first time they go to Alexandria. She had the part where she hit him in the head with a, with a rock or whatever that was. Or just punched him, I guess. I always thought it was a rock, but I guess maybe she just punched him. So I wouldn't say she's like totally a background character like some of the other characters like Gabriel, who apparently isn't even in some episodes, and some others he is. So, I don't know how I feel about that one because it'd be so much different from the comic book series. Trying to guess who they're going to kill is really, really tough, man. That's for sure. I've been doing death predictions for 5 years, and I haven't really gotten any better at it. Earlier on, it was easier. It's like, oh yeah, Shane's going to die, Laurie's going to die. Oh, I'm right. Yes, I'm right. But now it's like, it's hard, man, especially with season 3. But they've kind of gotten off that course of doing very unpredictable deaths after season 3, I want to say, with what they did with Andrea. Even though Tyrese's was, but we kind of knew that his time had gone over past where the comic book series character was. So yeah. But the first part to his question, and I understand what he means by this. Once in a while, they'll do stuff like that, like, Carl will ask Rick if he remembers Shane, and once in a while they do that. But you're right, I would like to see some more kind of, flashbacks to them, maybe some more hallucinations, even though we haven't seen those for a long time. I really enjoyed those. I thought they were really, really clever, and I don't know, I really liked what they did with season 3. I just really did. I thought all around it was great. It was very human, and it showed Rick as not this kind of perfect hero, but that he's very it was very damaged after what, and he still is after what happened to Laurie. Yeah, but I do hear what you're saying, but they purposely do that, as far as I can tell, that they very rarely talk about or have in dialogue stuff we already know. Like they'll very briefly show it. Like Rick will give Tara a pass because he'll say that, very quickly in just like one little part, like one scene that's very quick, that, he knows that she was with the governor and that he's okay with it. She didn't actually want to do that. She didn't want to be there, so he's fine with her. But they very rarely talk about or do anything about stuff that we already know. They very rarely bring up the past and that. But you think of it too, in a zombie apocalypse, characters are dying so frequently all the time that if they start just reminiscing and start thinking about characters that were killed off and people that died, it's just gonna overwhelm them. So it's kind of one of those things that you may want to just kind of push out of your mind and go forward in order to survive, not think about a lot of the crap that's happened to them prior. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. But you're right, I would like to see a little bit more. Always hope for another Shane flashback or something again, like they did in season 3. But we may never see one. We'll see. Next one's from TRE Productions. Okay. Do you think Glenn will die next season, considering Norman Reedus says that he's missing him the most in that interview? The cast laughed very nervously, and it's worrying the crap out of me. No, he says stuff to throw you off. He's done it before. Norman Reedus does. I think sometimes he says stuff that's on, like with the crying thing about the mid-season finale, which was that was a giveaway. But since then, he's kind of thrown us a few, that was season 5, first half, Coda, that type of thing. But he does throw us for a loop sometimes, too. So he does kind of give us some misinfo sometimes and post some things like that hand thing that was before season, what was that, 5 or season? I don't even, sometimes the seasons blend together for me. I've been doing videos for like 5 years, so, it's, sometimes you just, you just don't remember that much. 2,000 videos, just so many, they all kind of blend together sometimes. And we'll do like one more. Next one's from Renee Descartes. And she says, surely we're not warranted in thinking that Morgan and Rick are going to be in a fight, big conflict this season, just based on seeing the season 6 trailer. Why is this? Because we already know that the producers of the show try to trick us in the trailers and mislead us. They've told us that they've told us that they are trying to mislead us, and the English here is not the best, or at least the writing isn't. No offense, Renee. And we can see that by looking at the past trailers and episodes, for all we know, the producers are tricking us, and we have good reason to think they are trying to fool us. Yeah, you're right. It looks like that, doesn't it? I mean, it looks like they're creating this kind of Morgan versus Rick thing. We may see some of it, like something of it, but it doesn't look like it's going to be nearly as big of a deal as they're making it out to look like in the trailer itself. But they do that on purpose because they know that people like us are here. You know, we're talking about the stuff. We're big fans of the show all year round, and we're doing predictions and things like that, and thinking what's going to happen next. They know that we read into it that much, you know, and when they do that, they put little things in there. They'll switch things, or for example, in season 5, there was the body parts that looked like they could have been Morgan's before the finale, and then in the finale, Morgan gets attacked by the 2 wolves. So they even had the sunglasses and that, and the clothing was pretty much the same. So I don't know if that was on purpose, you know, or not, but it sure looked like it was. And it made that scene in the finale pretty intense for us that are big fans of the show and notice things like that. So they do put a lot of care and detail into the show and into the different things that they do, even in the trailers and that, to kind of throw us off because they know we're looking forward to it and kind of keep us on our toes, keep us surprised. Because Kirkman said that the one thing he wants to translate from the comic book series to the TV series is, you know, that kind of unpredictability, or us, you know, that kind of shock value, us not knowing what's going to happen, but keeping it still on the same, you know, the same general storyline, but kind of throwing us through loops and keeping it spontaneous where we don't know. Like in the comic book series, when Carl gets shot, you know, shot in the eye, it was like the internet just exploded. You know, I was doing videos at that time when they did that. It was just like crazy. So many people were just like blown away by it. And I think The Walking Dead was one of the top sellers that week. And it's an independent, it's Image, right? So it's not Marvel, it's not DC in terms of comic book series. So that's pretty high for it. So yeah, definitely, you know, they do try to kind of make it more unpredictable for us and try to not telegraph things, even though sometimes things get out, like Shane's death, Tyrese's death, and many other characters, you know, beforehand. Sometimes spoilers get out. Unfortunately, I wish they didn't, but I always seem to get, you know, I see so many comments come through, it always seems to get ruined for me. So that's all I got for this one for you guys. Quick little video. Let me know what you think about these different questions, and what you think about them kind of misleading us in the trailer. What you think about the Ron versus Carl situation, and whether or not you'll see it focused on that much. I don't think it'll be focused on as much as you might think, but I hope I'm wrong. I hope they'll really do some awesome stuff with that, because that would be really really great. And Carl needs to be hardened quite a bit. So let me know what your guys' answers to these questions are. Write them in the comments below. If you like the video, please thumb it up below. If you want to help support the channel, please share it. Please favorite it. You can check out the Patreon page in the link below if you want to support me as well. And if you're new and you want to subscribe, you can subscribe at the bottom left. That's it for this one, guys. I'll see you again really soon. As always, it's Trev. I'm saying peace. Don't be a deadhead. Subscribe.